to the Red Leaf Card, your home for Canadian soccer news and views. My name is Jacob, and today we're going to be talking about Major League Soccer deciding to expand their playoff format for the next season for 2027-2028 season. And we're going to preview the 2026 Canadian Championship Semi-Finals of how that's going to look. But first, here's your fixtures rundown. In Major League Soccer for the Canadian sides, Club de Foot Montreal draws with LA Galaxy 2 apiece. Vancouver Whitecaps blows out with a big win against FC Dallas 5-0. And Toronto FC playing away in Miami, defeating Inter Miami 2-1. So, if you look at the big news coming in for the upcoming season for Major League Soccer for 2027-2028 season, Major League Soccer is deciding, hey, let's expand with 20 teams in the playoffs, which 10 teams in each conference who will come in. And I think a lot of people have some mixed opinions on this. Some will say that the previous format of the playoffs for Major League Soccer is okay, but expanding it to 20 teams, which 10 teams in each conference, is kind of too big. And to be honest, if the more bigger the playoff format goes, and if Major League Soccer is just like, well, we're not going to expand more teams in the Major League Soccer, and we're just going to expand more and more teams in the playoffs, I think that's kind of concerning for Major League Soccer of how they're going to expand more teams to compete in the playoffs. I just don't think it is a good idea for the upcoming season. But again, a lot of people are more focused on the playoffs. That's where a lot of people think that it is really more competitive to watch for teams to play in the playoffs. But thinking about the regular season that they always watch really is not that type to watch. And a lot of people would say, if you want the regular season to be really, I would really say this to any fans who are regular season fans thinking that it should be competitive. Maybe would be a good time to actually add promotion relegation. But Major League Soccer does not want to do that. And I'm just going to say about Major League Soccer, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do this. We all know right now the new commissioner for Major League Soccer, he's not interested in deciding, hey, promotion relegation might be something, an eye-opening to put in Major League Soccer. But no. To the fans that always said promotion relegation is a must-need, I don't think that's ever going to happen for the next generation fans. I think that the next generation fans are going to look at saying, this is not my league. I think that a lot of people are going to look at saying that, hey, European leagues out there are more competitive, and maybe other leagues out there that they have not seen are just more better. And now you look at the USL, the United Soccer League, they're actually adding promotion relegation. And this might be a concern for Major League Soccer. And does Major League Soccer might actually lose fans because of it? Maybe so. But what is the problem? It's maybe because you're not having big name players. That's the reason. And if the United Soccer League decides, hey, we have a first division league right now coming in, you should actually come in. There might be a chance when it actually comes in for the United Soccer League having their first division to get their first season. And probably it's going to get the popularity. And you look at, for example, in Canada soccer, the provincial leagues, they do have promotion relegation. For example, the Ontario Premier League, and in Quebec also. It is a wild competition. It is really a great competition, and I think I love how the provincial leagues of Ontario and Quebec are actually doing well. And now you look at, for example, for the updates of in Ontario Premier League, you look at Hamilton United for the men's side getting relegated. You look at right now how the men's side of the Ontario Premier League of the 2026 season went. Scorsopi FC are the regular season champs for 2026. They qualify to the Canadian Championship for 2027. And Simcoe County Rovers gets relegated for only just making 4 points of the 2026 season. So that is a terrible performance of Simcoe County Rovers. As noticed, Simcoe County Rovers had a big match. Their historical team that actually versed the Toronto FC in the Canadian Championship once. And you look at right now, Masters Football Academy in the second division of the Ontario Premier League. They win that division and gets promoted to the first. And yeah, Hamilton United are getting relegated. And who's taking their spots are the debuts season is Kingston Sentinels. And that is something that I kind of actually like how the season is going for it. I think I love how there's a team in Kingston right now coming back in the Ontario Premier League, and there's more to come for the upcoming Canadian Championship whatsoever for 2027. Right now, how the 2026 season for the Canadian Championship is going, it's going really well. But we've seen the quarterfinals, how that went. Vancouver Whitecaps defeating Calgary FC 5-2 in aggregate. Club de Foot Montreal defeating Vancouver FC 4-2 in aggregate. Forge FC almost getting defeated by CS Saint Laurent in aggregate, but it stays 3-2 for Forge FC, almost losing to a really competitive team in the Quebec side. In the Provincial League, Atletico Ottawa getting defeated by a debut team in the Canadian Premier League, FC Supra du Quebec, with 6-4 in aggregate. Now you look at the four teams: the Vancouver Whitecaps, Club de Foot Montreal, Forge FC, and FC Supra du Quebec. I really have to say about these final four teams, I really have to say that you look at it right now, all like fans are going to look at saying, yeah, Vancouver Whitecaps could be finalists in the Canadian Championship, and again, seeing the Canadian Premier League making an appearance again in the finals. We've seen Vancouver Whitecaps versus Vancouver FC in the finals. That was a great Canadian Championship finals. That was completely a great matchup. And then later you look at how this season's going. Again, Inter Toronto FC. A lot of people thought that it was going to be an easy matchup with CS Saint Laurent, but losing 1-0 is probably not a good start for Inter Toronto FC. From the beginning, that it's a knockout match. And Toronto FC, another team, losing to Atletico Ottawa 3-1. It's again a matchup that a lot of people didn't want to be surprised that they would lose. No one thought that Atletico Ottawa was going to defeat Toronto FC, since this is a surprise. And now you look at how the semifinals is going to be like, with, again, Major League Soccer teams versus each other and Canadian Premier League teams versus each other to actually go for the finals. And Forge FC, FC Supra du Quebec, that's a really good competitive matchup. And the Whitecaps versus Club de Foot Montreal, I think that now you're going to be seeing Club de Foot Montreal now being the ones that are going to be trying to be competitive. Exactly the same thing as FC Supra du Quebec, being competitive right now in the regular season for Canadian Premier League. And now it's something that Forge FC should be worried about. But now if you look at how that finals is going to look like, could it be an all Montreal team, an all Quebec team that will be in the finals? Or we're going to see again Vancouver Whitecaps be in the finals and repeat it? Or maybe could it be the first ever Canadian Premier League team to actually win a Canadian Championship? it's something. It's something there to actually see. So there is something that the head coach, FC Super du Quebec, actually of the response of trying to first forge FC in the Canadian Championship, how that's going to go, and here is what he has to say. I know that FC Super du Quebec is now getting closer for another tough challenge right now during September, at the start of September. It's going to be versing Forge FC in the Canadian Championship semi-finals. How prepared do you think that team is for that match for the semi-finals for Canadian Championship?
Look, Forge is a great team, and no one would ever deny that. And they're a team that's had a lot of experience in Can Champ. They're usually the most successful CPL team normally, and it's a tournament that they're all dying to win. And all their players, and they're just keep playing. They want to win the league, but I do feel that they're highly motivated by this tournament, and we're aware of that. And we're the newcomers on the block that we come up in the semi-final, and everyone could say it's a Cinderella story, and we're all happy. But tournament football is special, and every game we've played Forge, we can say we were in every single game. Every game was a one-goal game. They have experience that we don't have, and we know that. We're not going to pretend that we're going to gain all those years of experience those guys have in 5 days, 6 days, whatever it may be. But what's most important is to understand that we're growing, and we have a lot of confidence in what we can become. And that's why we keep fighting every game, despite the setbacks, despite the difficulties. We still keep high standards for ourselves, because otherwise we're sitting here talking about the fact that we keep playing good games and tying teams and getting points against teams that are established. But we have very high expectations for ourselves. We have a strong confidence in ourselves. So, despite the fact that Forge has a lot of experience and they're successful and, things tend to go their way sometimes, we're coming in to win, and it's as simple as that. And will we be ready? It's very simple. You're going to find out on the field. It's how we show up on the game. It's how we present ourselves to the field. But I promise you're going to get a fight. I promise you're going to get that.
And that's full time of the Red Leaf Card. You could follow us on X, Spotify, and YouTube. I'm your host, Jacob, subbing out.